Welcome to Makeup Mugwump. My name is Leanne, and I'm happy you're here today. Let's get ready. Today is my 10th wedding anniversary. We have a huge day planned of finally watching the last season of Game of Thrones. We have so far avoided most of the spoilers. It's like been 10 years since they've released it. We've always watched the seasons after they've come out on Blu-ray, and now we're streaming HBO. And so we have waited until we had an entire day of doing nothing, and today's that day. So we've already watched a few episodes already, cuddled downstairs with big blankets and delicious food, and we are in the process of smoking some pork steaks for lunch. And while he's doing that, I'm doing this. So let's get ready. I've got some fun products to take a look at. Some things I haven't really tested out. Some things are tried and true. So let's start. We'll prime with all the priming things, then we'll get going. I'm going to use that NYX lip oil. This is the sheer color. It's nice. It's a nice nourishing, there's a little bit of slip to it, but it's not greasy. It doesn't move, so that's great. I'm going to use one of my other favorite little tricks. This is the e.l.f. Under Eye Primer. It is colorless. It looks peach. It's not. It's totally clear. And I'm going to tap that into the place under my eyes that creases regardless of what I use. This does not stop creasing. If you have creasy under eyes, don't buy the hype. Nothing is going to stop the creasing, but you can mitigate some of it, and that's what I am using this under eye primer to do. I just tap it in to where I get creasy. I'm one of those people that have darkness up to my lash line, and you know, when you watch makeup artists or whatever, they will tell you to use color correctors or concealers only where, you know, you have the darkness. Mama's got the darkness all over, so I've got to take it all the way up, so it's a pain. I'm going to use an eyeshadow primer that is in a pot, which I hate, but it is from Amuse Cosmetics. I got it off AOA Shop Miss A. Their brand is AOA Studios, but this is the Amuse Cosmetics eyeshadow primer in Clean Slate. It is a dupe for MAC's Painterly Paint Pot. And I'm going to slap some of that on real quick. I can use a brush. I can use a sponge. But it cancels out, you'll see. It cancels out the veining that you can see on my eyelids. I have very fair skin, and so the thinnest skin on my face is my eyelids and my under eyes. And so discoloration or veining can show there more than anywhere else on my face. I'm going to blend it out a little bit, just tap it in with my AOA Studios sponge that's $1.55 on there. This was $1. I love that website. You may not be able to find everything all the time, but they have this lovely thing where they say free shipping at $35, and all of a sudden you have 35 things to try, and you find all kinds of gems that way for an inexpensive price point. So I've made several orders over the last couple of years and enjoyed a lot of products. This is one of them. Another product that I'm going to use to prime for the rest of my face is the Aqua Hydrating Primer from Shop Miss A. Usually have a brush to do this, but I left it in the other room, so we're going to use our hands. This is a hydrating primer. It smells a little bit cucumbery, and it is not silicone-esque. Feels a little bit like moisturizer. I have already moisturized my skin and put on my SPF a while ago. I try to do that well before I start my makeup to allow it to sink in. You also want to put your SPF on before a little bit before going out into the sun. But I am staying in the house because coronavirus, and I'm still using an SPF. Why, you may ask? Well, like right now I'm sitting in front of a window, and I will pop outside onto my back deck for things and all kinds of things. So it's part of my routine. I use it every day, regardless of whether or not I leave my house. And you should too, because skin cancer, melanoma is a thing, and aging. That's a thing too. So let's see. What are we going to use today? Well, we're going to use one oldie and one new one. We're going to use my CoverGirl and Olay Advanced Radiance foundation. I have the color 110 Classic Ivory. It's a pretty good little foundation. It's not fancy. It's not new. It's not fancy. It is marketed towards aging skin. That whole CoverGirl Olay collaboration, I guess, is marketed towards aging skin, maturing skin. Hence, oil of Olay, which is one of those old people things that we use. I say old people, but you know what I'm talking about. It's something that our grandmothers and mothers used, and it's not super popular for the youngsters, but it is an excellent hydrating foundation. You'll see that it's not full coverage by any means. Also, I'm using a sponge, which is damp and will shear out most anything more than if you used, for example, a brush or your fingers. But you'll see, and I'll do a quick side by side. I have a lot of discoloration on my face. Some people call them freckles. Depends on my mood of whether or not I'm like, I have cute freckles or I have massive discoloration all over my face. I have some redness, and it's permanent. It's not seasonal. It doesn't depend on the product. She's always red. But again, a lot of discoloration. This does not take away my discoloration. This is not full coverage by any means. You can still see freckles. You can still see my actual skin through this, but it does tone it down a bit. It evens it out. So I like it. And I'll use another pump on this side. It smells good. It has a fragrance, which I do not love, but it does smell good. It's not perfumey, but it smells a bit fresh, I guess. So we'll take it all over our face real quick. Pounce this bad boy out. Hair. Tomorrow's wash day, so this is the pre-wash day glory that you get. You're welcome. I have now, since being in quarantine, I have now drilled it back to actually only having to wash my hair once a week. Yes. For a girl who washed it every day, to then at most I'd skip a day. Once I had my hair bleached and fashion colored a few years ago, I began to wash it 3 times a week, dropped back to 2 times a week, and thought this is the very least. I can't go any more beyond 2. Well, in quarantine I have gone to 1. Yes. So that's great. It keeps my color more vibrant for longer. If I heat style my hair, I do that once per week, and then the rest of the week I just refresh it as I need to, just with not heat. So I don't actually use any heat. I just use products to refresh it, and different styles depending on how many days I've been without washing and what the curls look like, or if I've straightened it or crimped it or whatever it is. So, all right, there's the 110 Ivory in the CoverGirl and Olay Advanced Radiance. It is not matte. It is not super dewy. I will use products underneath it, different primers, to give me more glow if I want more glow, but I'm not impressed with the radiance therein. I'm going to use a new product, y'all. I used it on my Kim Chi haul. I put it on to try it. It was not blended by any means. I didn't have anything to blend with, so it looked fabulous. Check out that video where I swatched the Kim Chi palette. We're going to use that today, by the way. But this is Kim Chi's The Most Concealer. I have it in the friggin' ivory shade, which is very, very light. So I'm using very little. Has a little brush tip applicator. It's not too bad. I'm going to do, again, very little because she's very brightening. That's it. Holy Moses. Probably too much. We'll see. Blend it out with that sponge. If I wanted more concentrated, I would blend it out with my fingers first, or look at that, oh my gosh, with a brush. But I'm going to use the sponge today, and we're going to blend like we depend on it for our lives, because this is very, very light. I mean, I'm light. Do you mean like I am? The discoloration, the freckles on my face, the sunspots on my face do give color matching softwares a run for their money. I love going into a Sephora and asking those poor souls who work there, I mean, they're not poor, but you know what I mean, to color match me, because boy howdy, they will come up with some crazy. Because if they get a swatch on a place of my face, or if they use their little machine, if they have a machine that color matches on a place on my face with freckles on it, or redness, it will go absolutely awry. There is no reasoning with them either, because they say, no, it says you're supposed to be a medium color. If I'm medium, we're both in trouble, because this is not medium. I mean, Mama's translucent. That is so light. It's brightening. Gosh knows it's brightening. So I'm definitely going to make sure that I use a powder that is not overly brightening to set, because that's going to be a problem. So let's use the my sample of my Bye Bye Pores Press from It Cosmetics. It's a white powder, but it's not white. This is my hair white. Sorry, TikTok. I'm going to use my dry velvet sponge from Shop Missy. There are lots of brands that are doing the kind of the velvet powder sponge, and I have not tried them all. I've tried a couple. This one's just fine. This one's also really cheap. So when I set that, it's not super brightening. I'm looking for more white under my eyes. I have enough, thank you. Just set that down. I'm also going to set my lids real quick with just what's left on the sponge. I have super hooded eyes, so when I open my eyes with any kind of eye primer that has color to it, I get a crease. So I tap out the crease real quick and powder over it, and then I'm good to go. So let's powder rest of face. So occasionally I'll actually take the powder that's whatever's remaining and run it over my nose specifically. I have one of those noses, like many of us, that won't hold on to foundation if I don't treat it right. And one of the things that I can do is actually really focus powder and press it in with a sponge, as opposed to dusting it over my nose. If I want it to stick, I want to press that in using a powder puff or a velour puff or one of these bad boys. So that it's light, it works well. For setting the rest of my face, I'm going to use my Wet n Wild pressed powder in Warm Light. I'm not warm, but it works for me. Look at my pan. Yeah, I'll use a big old powder brush. And I will tap first, and then I will kind of buffy swirl. Just want to set everything. Don't use too much powder, 2 tons of powder, but just setting it so that I can blend on top of it. I am normal oily, and depending on the products, I can be really oily by the end of the day, but I'll just set that with that. I don't think I brought a finishing powder. Oh no, that's okay. We'll figure something out. Okay, I'm gonna do a warm eye, I think, today. I'm usually a cool tone girl, but the shades that I want to use in the Kim Chi palette that I haven't used, I think I want a macaroni and cheese eye. You're welcome. And so let's go a little bit warm. I'm going to use my Ace Beaute Bronzed in Paradise palette from my BoxyCharm. And I'll use this first light color. I have used all of them at some point right before I wash my makeup. That last color is so much fun on a fair girl. I'll use a angled no-name brush from 45 years ago. I am not a contourer, but I do like to bring a little bit of color around the perimeter of the top half of my face. I am not one of those, I'm trying to be snatched for thinness' sake, because that is not ever going to be a thing makeup can do for me. And I'm okay with that. I just want some color because I am so pale, and when I actually take away some of the discoloration on my face, I can look flat. The under eye brightening, either concealer and powder brightening combo, also makes it look a little funky. So I like to get a little bit of bronzer just to kind of change that look. There are days that I take my bronzer across my nose, like the actual tip of my nose, and there are days that I use my blush. I will be using my blush today for that. One of the two. I always put color on the end of my nose. I don't know why, but I like the way that it looks. Let's use an older product. This, I think it was Ipsy. The Gigi Gorgeous line that she did with Ipsy. I have several of these products because I got one in my bag and then I really loved it and I bought a couple of other things. So this blush has a matte peach and then a very, it could be a highlighter on someone of darker skin tone. I don't use this as a highlighter. It would be way too deep. But I just swirl my brush in both sides, just all willy-nilly. And then it's gorgeous for a glowy blush. And so this is the shade The Only Blush Duo in Authentic and Pride. I don't know which is which. But I just swirl my brush. I got a big old angled blush brush. I always start at the top of the back of my cheek, and then whatever's left I will smile because I have big old chunky cheeks and I like them, and I will blush for the gods because I enjoy that. Again, whatever's left on the brush across the tip of my nose, and then that looks crazy, we're gonna blend it out, and then I'll take a little bit up to where I put that bronzer and just get a hint of the color of my blush up there so that it's not just on my cheeks. There's just a little bit. And now let's blend. To get those to kind of meld together, we are going to use a highlighter. I'll blend again real quick. This is my short, stubby little bamboo-ish wooden handle AOA Studios brush that I use for no application but just blending. It's got a lot of give to it and I like that. I wouldn't use it to apply anything, but I definitely will use it for blending. We're going to use another highlighter. Geez, I'm like AOA Studios today, but that's okay. It's what I had. This is a halo highlighter. It is in the shade Blissful. It is marbled and it is a beautiful, beautiful little highlighter. They have amazing products. We're going to do the tops of the cheekbones. We will blend. I always like to do right above my brow just a bit, down my nose, tip of my nose, and I'm one of these. I'll do the Cupid's bow, kind of high. I look like I belong in like a Munchkin montage of The Wizard of Oz because of the nose, and I'm okay with that. Let's blend one more time because that highlighter is something else. I like it. Okay, let's set the face and then we shall tackle brows and eyes. This is one of my favorite things. I've been using it so much. This is my first bottle of the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray in the Sweet Peach scent, and it is everything. It's their lovely, I shake it every time, y'all. I can't stop. Smells like peaches. I brought my fan. It's a Kim Chi fan. I love her. I love her. Dry that a bit. I'll spray at the end as well. I usually spray at the very end, but I also like to spray right after I'm finished with my face makeup to take away some of the powderiness. I like that. My nose is super peachy and I love it. All right. Let's see here. Oh, I remember to do something. No, I didn't. I just did. Here's my eyelash color. Shall we? Remember? We'll stick it in there. It'll warm it up. It'll help. But my right eye lashes are very stubborn to curl. I mean, beyond. There's no reasoning with them. And so if I warm my eyelash curler up, it is easier to curl. I always start with that eye. I'll do my left and then I'll recurl the right, and then they should stay curled for approximately 17 minutes, which is an all-time best for me. So let's do brows real quick. I usually try to do brows before eyes because it helps to frame it and I know what I'm looking at. We're going to use, I have no clue, brow pencil. I think it's a Wikiluxe from 45 years ago in a BoxyCharm. I've rubbed off all of the cute gold writing on it. There's no label. There is nothing. There's a spoolie on one end, a brown triangular brow pencil on the other. And we'll fill these bad boys in a bit. I don't take a lot of time on brows. I have halfway decent brows, but they are sparse in some areas, and I need a little bit of definition, specifically on the bottom half. So there's the two brows. I just get a little bit of a clean under line. I cleaned it up underneath a bit because it needs a little help. There are hairs there, but they aren't in a line, and I kind of like them a bit in a line, and then it's just a matter of filling in. So we'll do the other one really quickly. They are sisters, not twins, so judge not lest someone come to your house and measure your eyebrows for symmetry. Who would do that? The brow police. I have had my brows waxed several times since quarantine. I am not doing anything to them, and I'm okay with that. They're just a little bit, it's fine, it'll be fine. I'm already married. He's not going to leave me for my brows. If he did, goodbye and good riddance. We're going to use a Milani brow gel that is 499 years old. It has fibers in it, and it will give some hold and a little bit of a little bit more tint on some of those hairs that I'm not focusing on with my brow pencil. I'm just filling in the sparseness on my skin, and then this bad boy will pick up the rest. Brows done. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. All right, let's use the new Kim Chi palette. I have a video swatching all of the colors on the Kim Chi palette, and I want to do a macaroni and cheese look. On that video, I did the greens and some yellow. I want to get a little bit more orangey, which is why I use the peach blush, is because I think it's going to be better for a warm toned face. But let's use some of the macaroni and cheese colors, and I'm excited. I like it so far. I love the collaboration between Naomi Smalls and Kim Chi, and I'm glad that they did it because I love it. I am going to fill in a gap of this palette for me, and that is a very light brow bone matte color, top of the transition. It is, there's nothing like that in this palette. I'm going to use an oldie, but a goodie. Look at all the pan. I've repressed it twice on the light color, the light matte, and once on the little middle kind of cool tone brown. This is the Covergirl True Naked Nudes palette. It's older than sin for me, but I love it. It's super powdery, which is why I've been able to hit so much pan, but I use this quite frequently for filling in gaps that other palettes have. If I need a specific neutral to do a thing, if there's not a dark color, I'll use this very dark color to line with. If there's no like medium tone for a transition, I will use that medium tone for a transition. There's no shimmery color, I'll use the shimmery. Obviously, a lot of palettes do not have a light color brow bone kind of matte, or one that is suited for my skin tone. So I will use this one, again, really powdery, which is why I'm able to hit pan in one of these. I already have a backup because I'm that girl, but I will just put that at the very, very top to be a brow bone highlight, but also to kind of set that a bit, and we'll leave that for if I need anything else from that. And then let's macaroni and cheese this look up. I think I will be using a few of these mattes, and maybe we'll just do a straight matte eye. Let's do that. Yep, I don't see a shimmer in this that I particularly want to use with an orangey look. There's a copper under the rock. There's a coppery, but it's a darker coppery shade, and I think I'd rather use just the mattes today. In my last video, I did use Cactus, that very bright yellow at the top. So we'll use a few of these shades today. We're going to start with Mariposa, which is the lightest they're all macaroni and cheese shades, basically. We're going to use that in the upper transition. very fluffy brush, light application of this. These bad boys are pigmented, and so I am very much aware that if I dip in here like I would with a lot of other palettes, I will have a mess on my hands and be cleaning it up. So since I'm doing my eyes after my face, I don't necessarily want to create a mess that I have to clean up on the outer edge. I just want a quick, warm macaroni eye. Okay, next we're going to go into Highland Ave. This is on Naomi's side. It is a neon macaroni and cheese. We'll go just slightly lower in the crease. Windshield wiper motions and small circles. Just slightly lower than that. Not much. That's so pretty. A little bit of a gradient. I may bring up the Mariposa shade in a little bit. I have hooded eyes, so I always, if I'll close my eyes or I have my eyes almost closed, I have to stop, open my eyes to see how much of that color I can see above my hood or above my crease, because my crease is kind of deep set back there, and I want to make sure that you can see the color when I have my eyes open, if that's the look I'm going for. Most of the time it is. So I do a lot of my blending with my eyes open because of my hood. And if you have hooded eyes, try it. Yeah. All right, let's take the slightly darker macaroni shade. It's called Mucka. We're going to use a little bit of a flat shader brush here to concentrate that color in a smaller area. And I'm going to go on my outer corner. See, it's a little bit darker. Not a lot. This is going to be almost a monochromatic, but in gradients of, not tone, but not hue. What's the other one? Value? Color theory. Okay, I'm going to blend that just a bit. It's just a little bit darker than the other ones, but it's on my outer corner and up to my crease. I'm not going much higher than my crease at all. Back out here, not much. And then we'll just blend that little bit there. All right, eyes open again. Yeah. All right, what shade on the lid do we want to go like all in bright yellow? That I'm not yolking bitch shade is beautiful. I did use that in my other look. I don't know. Let's do it. Let's just do all matte, shall we? Shall we do all matte? Let's do it. Okay, I'm going to take the same small shader brush and just flip it over to the other side. And we're going to do I'm not yolking on the lid. All matte look today. It is very rare that I do an all matte look. I am a shimmery, glittery unicorn lover. And so it is most days, actually most days I use very little mattes. It's the other way around. I will use shimmer or glitter even in my crease. I'm okay with that. But that doesn't look too bad, does it? Let's see. That's really pretty. I have no, you saw I didn't put any kind of white base underneath. If you wanted these colors to be even more bumped up, have even more value to the color itself, you can put on, you know, NYX Jumbo Pencil and Milk. You can put on a white primer. You can do all kinds of things. But I mean, I think I'm very well pleased. With my eyes open, you can see that yellow. It's not hidden, but it's not as prominent when I close my eyes. I like that a lot. I think that's very pretty. I am going to use one shimmery something or other. This one came in my BoxyCharm, and I've just been using it every single day to put that inner corner highlight. And I think I'm going to actually, it's pink, but it's not super pink. I'm going to just use that. It is the Studio Makeup Endurance Cream Shadow in pink. I'm going to wipe kind of a bit off of it, and I'm just going to pop it. I have some darkness here, and so I benefit from a little bit of glittery lightness, no matter the tone, right in that deep recess right there. And I like that. It's not super pinky. It's not vibrant in any way, which is an okay thing to do. Do we want to line our eyes? Let's do it. I did get another product. I think it was an BoxyCharm this month or last month. It's a Laura Geller product, and I was convinced that Laura Geller was going out of business, but apparently not. They're still around. And it's called Line and Define Dual Dimension Eyeliner. It has a coal, like silver. I mean, silver. Like very bright silver. And then it has a liquid liner on the, or is it a liquid liner felt tip? It's a felt tip liner in black on the other side. I'll do a small, she says, I'll do a small line across my lash line. I'm not going to wing it out. It's not that kind of day. It's not a wingy liner day. I'm not wearing lashes today, which I would normally do with a color, with a look with a lot of color, bright. I usually use bright color. I usually use lashes. Today I'm not, but I am going to go ahead and line. I have to close my eyes and probably open my mouth. So sorry about it. Someone sneezed, coughed or something in the world, and I've already messed it up. So could you please hold it down? I'm kidding. Not really. I don't love this, y'all. I don't love it. Maybe Laura needs to go out of it. Actually, it turned out okay. I am a lay it on its side, press it down kind of gal. And this one's it's a bit chunky. She chunky. Oh, the pressure. It's not really. Are they even? Do we care? That'll do, pig. That'll do. Name that movie in the comments and I'll love you. Okay, it works. It's not great. I have a lot of liquid or brush tip or felt tip eyeliners that I enjoy. This is not great, but I'll use it. I mean, it's here. I might as well. I'm going to give that just a second to kind of dry up before I curl my lashes, because I'm also very good at putting on stunning eyeliner, not really, and then putting my eyelash curler up there and removing it all, because I'm that talented. Let's shoot over to lips. I'm going to use another combination that I really like. This is the Jordana Rock and Rose Easy Liner. I have to line my lips if I don't want to look insane when I put on lip color, because that discoloration, those freckles that people are buying products to put on their face when all I want to do is bleach them off. Grass is always greener, folks. Anyway, if I don't line my lips, I have freckles on my lip line that make it look like my lipstick or my lip color is uneven. And also I have uneven lips. It's not a mirage. They actually are uneven, and the freckles don't help me any. So I'm going to line real quick. Can't talk while I do that either. It's not a color. I mean, it is, but it's on me. It's just slightly darker than my lip color, and I'm okay with that because I'm going to go with a nude because these are some loud eyes. I break all there. I mean, there are rules in makeup because there's theories of color and product, and not product, but there's theories of different formulas and things that go together. Something you do before you do the other. So there are rules of makeup that you should learn, and then you can break them in any way that you want to, as long as it gives you the outcome that you desire. So one of the things that I usually do is, if I have a bright lip, I have a neutral eye. If I have a bright eye, I have a neutral lip. That's a thing. But let's be honest, I have a neutral lip almost every day because nudes are my fave. I have lots of color for lips, but I usually wear a nude. And we're going to go with something that's limited edition because I don't care. This is from the Aladdin and Mac collaboration, and it is Friend Like Me. And here's why I don't care, is because it's gorgeous and I want to use it and I don't want it to go bad. I've had MAC lipsticks go bad that I was saving because they were precious to me. My Prenza Schuler Wood Rose lipstick was my favorite lipstick of all time, and she turned on me. and it broke my heart. And so I have, after that, when I wept as I threw her away, I thought, I shall never again. I shall always use all of the things that I want to use, whether or not they are limited edition. They are meant to be used. I do collect makeup, but I collect it to use it. And so getting into that mindset of using things that are limited edition and not caring, because there will be another. I have lots of loves. I will not run out of lipstick, even if I use this one all the way up, so I should use it. So this is Friend Like Me. A little bit light, a little bit cool tone pinky. It's light. I look funky without eyelashes, don't I? Excuse me. Let me change that. All right, here she is. Warmed. Let's do right eye. This is a time when I like to contemplate my life decisions, just have a existentialist crisis while I'm clamping hair follicles upon my face to go a different direction than they grow. This is how I'm choosing to spend my time upon this earth. And I'm okay with it. Also, there's no way for me to put my eyelashes within an eyelash curler without opening my mouth. Something physiological is tied. It's not psychological. It can't be. Because I can't overcome it. Leanne, is this what's in your brain? Yes, this is what I do. My makeup time every day is for me to think about things and to ponder and to wonder. It's a meditation. All right, let's use the best mascara of all time. Relatively. It's also cheap. This is Essence's Lash Princess False Lash Effect. It's the green one. I love it. Look, I'm trying to close my mouth and I can't do it. I can't do it. One light coat. My outer lashes on my left eye have a very harsh curl to them. It's almost a crimp. I don't know how it got there. And I appreciate it for what it is. But you have to I have to treat my eyelashes separately. Like they're two different things. Two different techniques. Did I get some on my eyelid? Yes. Do I want some more? Yeah. If you get some on your eyelid, wait for it to dry. If you don't know that trick, there it is. You can use a spoolie. You can use your fingernail to scrape it off. I use a Q-tip typically. But you gotta wait for it to dry. Or else you smear it. Now, if you're going for a smoky eye, smear away. Mascara on your lid or your lower lid. I mean, your the lower lash line. If you are looking for smoke, it's fabulous. It's like a gel liner almost. Are you gonna curl your lashes while they're wet? Should you? No. Don't do this. Do not do this. Do not recommend. This look needs lashes. That's the problem, is I decided not to wear lashes today. But the color of my lids, I really want some big old camel lashes. But I don't have them. But I'm okay with it. Let's spray one more time. Yes. Okay. I do bemoan the fact that this setting spray doesn't taste like peaches. Because if it did, I'd just go to town like a can of whipped cream. I would do it. I don't mind it. What do we think? Super peachy nose and lip and cheeks. Neutral lip. Some macaroni and cheese on the eyes. A lot of folks would do a lower lash line because that complements their eye shape. I'm not, because my lower lash line droops in a place that it does. I mean, it's not droopy. It is shaped in such a way that when I do my lower lash line, I need to like tight line, waterline, black smoke it in order for it to look fine to me. And I don't want to do that today. I don't want all of it underneath. Also, Game of Thrones, there's very likely going to be tears. And I just put on mascara that's not waterproof. I just thought that through for the first time today. It's fine. It'll be fine. It's tissues. It's fine. It's fine. All right, let's take a little Q-tip and get some of this off of my lid. It's not much, but it's enough to drive me bonkers in the mirror. There we go. Not bad. Cool. Thanks for joining me. My name's Leanne. If you liked this video, go ahead and click the little thumbs up to like it. That helps me out to let me know what you like to see, and it boosts my channel a little bit, so I'd appreciate it. This is a very new channel, and I'm starting, so any help that you can give me by pressing your finger on a screen or on a mouse button would be great. Also, if you would like to see more content from me, you can subscribe. It's free, and you can press the little subscribe button down below, and I'd appreciate it. I'll list all the products that I used down below so that you can take a look at those if you'd like to, and I appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching. Y'all have a great day.